This episode is brought to you by Oops. Before you are ever in an accident, Oops is the app you want on your phone.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to PMS, the Perpetual Motion Squad, a Big Bang Theory fan. And I'm not looking at you, podcast. And we are your hosts, Big Bang Theory super fans, married couple, Kat.
And Paul.
And we are excited to be here today.
This is, as Kat told me, this is one of her favorite
This
episode.
very possibly could be my all-time favorite episode of the entire series.
Wow, that is saying
love
something.
This episode.
Even more than the very final one?
Yeah.
Wow.
Even more than the wedding.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, the proposal is right up there. Sorry, guys, spoiler alert.
Oh, I'm sure people have already seen
the
this.
Proposal is up there. The final episode makes me cry every time.
Mm-hmm. Don't think about it now.
But there's something special about this one.
Okay.
Season 3, episode 22, the staircase implementation.
I'm not even going to ask what she thinks about it because you just heard it, everybody. And this may terrify everybody, and this may terrify our entire listening family.
Oh.
I've got nothing to talk about. Usually how I always say I've got, housework and stuff like that, or some housekeeping to do with regard to the podcast. I've got nothing. I know. For everybody watching at YouTube, you've just seen a whole lot of little surprise faces.
Yeah.
The only thing that I can say is that the next member of our family is getting very, very close. Very close.
I think she's about 7 days away from
now.
Induction if he doesn't decide to come early.
Yep.
Yeah. So
and then it'll be, someone will be standing there going, "Get out of there, you little bastard."
so we're sending lots of love to Rachel.
Yep, absolutely.
As she's getting ready to have her baby.
Very, very close.
Okay, can I tell you one of my favorite jokes?
Yes, tell me.
So this woman is pregnant with twins.
Okay.
And she heard that whatever you read aloud to your baby in utero, it hears and it takes it on board.
Mm-hmm.
And she decided that she wanted her twins to be very polite. So she was reading like Miss Manners and all of these etiquette books and stuff like that. And her due date came and went, and babies were born.
Okay.
And a month went by, 2 months, 6 months, and it's like, why the heck are these babies still in there? So they finally decided to do a C-section to get the babies out because this is getting ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
And when they opened up her uterus, the twins were going, "You first, no, you first, no, you first, no, you first."
Well, funny enough about, because I saw something on Family Guy, and it is really crass, but I have to tell it because we're in that.
It wouldn't be you if it wasn't.
I am not that bad.
Oh, really?
So there's a scene where Quagmire is discussing.
Oh, he's disgusting, period.
About how he was born.
Uh-huh.
So the scene is there's Mrs. Quagmire and she's giving birth. And so Quagmire is born, and the doctor goes, "So, Mrs. Quagmire, how are you feeling?" And she says, "Horny, really horny. Can you put him back in so I can give birth to him again?" And then the scene flashes to Quagmire, and he's like, "I was born 9 times that day." Yeah, I told you it was it was rather crass. And she's trying to find an emoji for everybody on YouTube to see just how surprised
I don't have the one I want.
Sorry. There's no disgusting face or one that's got to throw
close
up.
Enough. The poop emoji will do.
A poop emoji, yeah. But
because
yes,
that's absolute crap.
I know. So yeah, so we are getting very close to having another member of the PMS family arriving soon. So yes, good luck to Rachel with that coming up. I'm sure she'll let us know when the big event has happened and
Yep.
the eagle has landed, as they say. So yes, season 3, episode number 21, did you say?
Two. Two.
22, the staircase implementation. So
Yep.
this is the episode that Kat absolutely
Oh,
loves.
okay. Now, before we get into it, I want to
Yes.
say that if you were watching this series with strict chronology, this episode could actually be watched as a direct replacement for the original pilot episode.
Mm,
In fact, in a possibly unintentional fanboy homage to the original series Star Trek, it could be watched in a similar way to the Star Trek episode The Menagerie Part 1 and Part 2, which recycled footage from the original pilot The Cage. It's unclear if this episode was actually based on an alternate previously made unmade rewritten pitch of the alternate pilot after the first version was rejected, or just a fantasy retrospective version of what the pilot might have been.
okay. The only thing that I could say would be we didn't actually get in the pilot, you're introduced to Katie, which later becomes Penny.
Yeah.
So watching this in chronology wouldn't actually work because we're not introduced to Penny. Because if you've got, yeah, okay, yep.
It no, it is because the never mind. I'm not going to try and explain it.
No, no, no. I want to know
No, no, it's all right.
because I'm just saying, like in the pilot episode,
Yeah,
the one that we all
is
know,
where we meet
we
Penny.
meet Penny. Yeah,
So, okay, so if you, but this could have been like the idea of it could have been the pitch for um the alternate pilot episode after the
right,
first one failed so badly,
right. Yes,
but it
yeah.
wouldn't have been
The
um
pilot.
a flashback episode.
Yeah.
It would have been a
Yeah.
straight up this is what happened episode.
Yeah, but I think the way they've actually got it with the flashbacks,
I think it
it
works
works
better.
so well.
Yeah, it really
And
does.
the funny thing is, now I'm just looking to see how long this episode goes for because it doesn't feel like that. Yeah, okay, so the episode goes for 20 minutes, but it really doesn't feel like 20 minutes.
No, it doesn't.
It's so quick when you look at it.
Yeah.
And when you actually really sit and enjoy it, it doesn't feel like a 20-minute episode because of the fact that it's got the flashbacks, which
Yeah.
is wonderful. So the episode actually opens up where we've got Penny and she is painting her toenails and she's hoping that the color that she's got is going to
The girly pink will hide the fact she got her dad's feet.
feet. When she suddenly hears Leonard and Sheldon fighting about the thermostat in their apartment.
Yeah.
Now, she can hear them very clearly, so they must
I don't think
really be.
I mean, honestly, it sounded like they were in the hallway right outside her
Yeah,
door.
thank you. But they are really, really loud, and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, you must really be hoiking it as far as your pitch. Now, we all know that there is a temperature that is set that Sheldon wants and agrees to, and that's all there is to it. But all Leonard wants to do is he just wants to up the temperature a little bit.
Yeah, 2 degrees.
Yeah, because the fact is, we all know that all poor old, the reason that we realize, or the reason we find out that Leonard always wears hoodies is because he's always cold.
Yeah.
So all he wants to do is just up at 2 degrees. But Sheldon actually believes that upping at 2 degrees makes it look like the feel like that he's sitting in the tropics.
Yeah.
And this argument goes on and on and on to the point where finally you hear, like Penny is listening to this and she's trying to paint her toenails and she hears the door, slam shut. And then she hears a rather aggressive knock on her front door. And she's like, who is it? And and the person says, Leonard. She goes, now, hang on a minute. Now, this is something that you even said. Why is Penny getting up to open the door when the door is unlocked?
Yeah, I mean, I thought she was getting up to unlock it,
Yeah.
but she just opened it. It's like she should have just yelled, "Come in."
Yeah, because the way it is, she's got, and any lady out there knows that when you're painting your toenails, you can't put your feet on flat on the ground. So she's walking on the heels of her feet. So instead of
Yeah.
doing that, just say, come in.
Yeah, which she usually does.
Yeah.
And it's not like she didn't know who it was.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. So, well, actually, No, because it was just a regular knock. So it would, if three knocks
No,
would be
it was a I'm angry and I need to talk to
yeah,
somebody knock.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So Leonard says to her, "Is it okay if I sleep on your couch?" And she goes, "Well, you can try, but the people across the
Call are
hallway
being
are being
very
very
noisy.
noisy." And
And he's
he's
like,
like,
"Oh, you heard that, did you?"
yeah, and he says to her, that the fact is that living with Sheldon, he was actually worse when he first got to meet Sheldon.
And she's like, "I don't
I don't
believe
believe
that."
that. And then we find out that this is where we have a flashback scenario where
Yeah.
Penny is about to hear the story of how he first met Sheldon 7 years ago, when, as he says, Sheldon was much, much worse
Yes.
than what he is
And he
right
was.
now. Oh, God,
And
so yeah.
okay, so we see Leonard entering the apartment building, and there's a guy, and just as he gets over to where the elevator is, it opens, and this guy walks out wearing a backpack and carrying a big box.
Yeah.
Now, this is Stephen Yun, the actor
Hmm.
Stephen Yun, the actor who later played Glenn in The Walking Dead in 2010.
Okay.
Now, The Big Bang previously paid homage to The Walking Dead in the Large Hadron Collision, where it turned out that Leonard and Sheldon have a clause in their friendship agreement stating that if either of them turns into a zombie, the other one can't kill him.
I like that.
Yeah.
That is a good one, actually.
Yep.
Um, so this is where now Leonard has got very, very curly hair. I don't know what happened to his
That
hair.
wig is awful.
It is really bad.
And it's
Um,
long too.
it is.
But did you notice that the his in the middle of the
Uh-huh.
forehead it like kind of went up as in a peak,
Yep.
and it
Yep.
just yeah,
And I
it was
notice it
very badly
even
done.
I notice it even more when when the thing happens in the elevator and there's the final scenario and
Yeah.
he like jolts back. You can see that it actually goes up a little bit too far. So you can
Yeah.
see that there's a hairline plus his
Oh, okay. So the wig
yeah,
slid back. I
it
missed
slid
that.
back. It
Yeah,
went
I
a little bit
missed
too
that.
far back. Um So this is where he actually says, can you show me, or do you know, oh, sorry, I'm looking for apartment 4A.
Yeah.
No, no, she says, I'm looking for Dr.
Sheldon
Sheldon
Cooper.
Cooper. And he goes, oh, you're here to,
Look at
look
the
at the
the
the,
apartment. And he's like, yeah,
the
and he's like, run away, dude.
run, and he goes,
And he's
excuse me, and
like,
he goes,
what? And he's like, run
run
fast,
fast,
run
run far.
far.
And I like it how you hear the little voiceover and Leonard going, that should have been my
That should have,
first
in looking back, that was my first clue.
yeah, first clue of a bad idea of doing this. So Leonard goes up to the fourth floor, and now he knocks on 4B.
Yeah.
And as we know, there was a African American guy who was a police officer, but that was also a transvestite.
Yep.
So the door opens up, and there's this very tall black guy in an evening gown putting on earrings. And he's like, yep. And Leonard stands there for a moment. He's like, um,
Yep. And
Dr. Cooper? And he goes, no, you
the
want the
crazy
crazy
guy
guy
across the
across the
hall.
hall.
And he's like, okay, looking back now, I realize that should have been my
The
second
second
clue.
clue. So we do, he knocks on the door and Sheldon answers. Now, this is where I said to you, and I don't know whether people agree with me in the family. I'd love to hear your thoughts, that this is where you can really see that Sheldon is autistic.
Yes.
Because Sheldon doesn't actually look directly at Leonard. He looks
He
down and to the
occasionally, but
left.
it's very short
Yeah,
little,
very, very short.
yeah.
At one stage, he even looks as if he's almost like he's blind. He can't even see Leonard. And we find out that the fact is that he has to go through three barriers to get to see his room.
Yeah.
Now, the first barrier is the fact that he is a physicist.
Yes.
And
And
so
what is the sixth noble gas?
and he tells him the answer, and he sort of like
He's
Sheldon
like,
does this
radon?
quizzical look, and yeah, radon, and Sheldon goes, "What are you telling
Asking me,
me?"
or are you telling me?
And he goes, telling you," and he's like, "Okay, you've passed the first barrier,
You may
and
enter.
you may enter." So he
Oh,
goes
no,
in.
no, 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 no.
Oh
The
no,
next question
this next one
was
was Kirk over Picard.
Kirk or Picard. The answer was original series over Next Generation, Picard over
Over
Kirk.
Kirk, and Sheldon goes, you know,
You may enter.
you're correct. You may enter. And he goes, "Oh, good, I passed the barrier." And he goes, "No, no, no, no. You passed the barrier to come into the apartment. This
Yeah.
is not
There's
no
two more.
two more to go." So he walks in,
Or
and
no, but no, but
there's
no,
three. There's
because
three barriers.
hold on.
Sorry.
He says you pass the first barrier, you may enter. And he's like, "Oh, okay, the bedrooms are back there." And Sheldon is like, "Possibly." And he's like, "What? Their existence is conditional?" And he's like, "No, your ability to see them is conditional based on passing the next two barriers."
That's right. That's right. So when Leonard walks in, it is okay. We all know how much Sheldon makes. We've figured it out.
Yeah.
Okay. Kat's done the math as far as how much Leonard makes and Sheldon makes and stuff
Yep.
like that. When Leonard walks in, all there is two lawn chairs, a side table, obviously where Sheldon is sitting,
Hmm.
a old style TV, which is a remote control
As,
color TV. We all
yes,
remember
a
those.
CRT. Yep.
CRT on two cinder blocks.
Um,
That is it.
I believe the coffee
Oh,
table.
and the coffee table is that
What?
round circular.
Okay, it's one of those spools that they put wire like cable
Yes.
on.
Thank you. I was trying to
Yeah.
work out what that was. Yeah. But that's all he's got.
Yeah, we used to actually have one of those,
Yeah.
and my brother and I would put it on its side, and we'd try to walk on it and
Oh,
roll
good.
it.
Yeah, okay, good. How'd that work out for you?
They fell
Not
a
well?
lot. We
I
fell
was
a
going to
lot.
say, because
Yeah,
you got to have good balance to be able to do that to
yeah,
begin with.
and you know me in balance.
Oh, yeah, but
I fall over trying to step over the dog.
both Kat and I can fall over fresh air.
Hmm.
Um, so this
Blow on me and I'll fall over.
So Leonard, so this is where Sheldon invites Leonard to sit down, and Leonard goes to sit in Sheldon's spot, and he's like, "No, no, 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 not there. That's where I sit." And he goes, "There's a difference. There's a,
Yeah.
and he says, "Well, yeah." And we go through the same scenario. He sits there, which is directly under the warmth of the air, but not there's a cross breeze between opening up the windows there and there. It's not direct as far as to obscure gameplay or watching TV. And apparently, he's also put it in a space of eternal dibs.
Dips.
And he said, and Leonard goes, "You can do that." And he goes, "Yes, I have. I've
Because
done
I
it.
did.
I did it." So this is where we also get a couple more questions. The next question is, does he have a vehicle? And so first of all, is do you apparently you work at the university? Yes. And you be going there every day? Yes. Would you be willing to drive me? And he goes, you don't drive? And you go, and Sheldon comes back with, I can, but I choose not to. And Leonard goes, "Oh, okay, yeah, I guess I can drive you there." So we've got that. And he goes,
Well,
"Well,
he
that's
says to him, "Don't you drive?" He's like, "I can. I choose not to."
not to." Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's fun because every time Leonard starts to make some kind of a joke or whatever, Sheldon wrinkles up his nose and gets like,
Yeah.
"You
As if say,
face," and it's
oh,
like,
yeah.
and of course he's making notes, and Leonard's like, "Well, what's that?" And he's like, "None of your
Doesn't concern
business."
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when he says about he can drive him to work, Sheldon does something, and Leonard goes, "Well, that's a a tick in my favor, isn't it?" And he goes, "Well, let me do this
Yeah,
now."
just be quiet and let me do this.
Yeah, now what was the last one? I can't remember the last one that he did because there was one more that he was able to go
Oh,
and look at his
all right. Talk amongst yourselves for
yeah,
a second.
because there is one more that he says once he's able to get past that barrier, which is that he's able to drive, there's one more thing that he actually it, man, this is we've only just watched the
I
episode,
know, right?
and
Um,
how can we forget that part? There's one more part of the episode, and even as much as we all know, the more that you try to think about it, the more it's not going to come to your brain. But at 3 o'clock in the morning, it's going to wake me up to
I
say,
know,
"Oh, by
right?
the way, this is what it was." But there was one other thing. Yeah.
In the post-apocalyptic world, which task would you assign the
Oh,
highest
thank you.
priority?
Thank you.
Finding a food source,
Procreating.
procreation, there was something
They were
else, and then preserving the knowledge of all mankind.
establishing a new
Oh, and
government,
working government. That's
working
right.
government, or yeah, the
Right.
mankind, the
But
knowledge
the
of
knowledge,
mankind.
preserving the knowledge of all mankind. And Leonard opted for preserving the knowledge.
of all mankind.
And
And this
Sheldon's like, correct, you have passed. And just so you know, I would have accepted any answer except procreation.
yeah, yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah. Well, that we know that for Sheldon anyway, but you actually said, which I thoroughly agreed with, establishing a food source.
That would have been the highest priority.
Yeah, because okay, procreating, let's take that off the equation for the moment.
Yeah,
Establishing a working government, I don't think we need to worry
that's going
about
to
that
happen
right now.
naturally, the
That'll be happen.
procreation.
Yeah, yeah. Establishing a government that'll figure itself out. Um, keeping the knowledge of all
Okay,
mankind. I understand that for a little bit, but that's not the
I
high priority.
wholeheartedly support preserving the knowledge.
Yeah.
Is and I remember watching um National Treasure
Hmm.
and um the girl, I forget her name, played by Diane Kruger, um, when she was like, "These are the lost thing of Alexandretta,"
Yes.
and I like felt that thrill,
Yeah.
So and so I totally get where that is at, and I wholeheartedly support it,
Yeah.
but I think it would become after food source, shelter.
The procreation.
No,
No.
procreation will happen on its own.
Okay. But definitely a food
People will
source first.
naturally take care of that.
They'll naturally do the bao chicka wawa.
Exactly.
Yeah. Or
Um,
as other people say, brown chicken, brown cow.
and
But yeah,
the
I would have thought for sure the food group,
so
the getting food.
food and shelter would be first.
Yeah.
I would then make sure that all of the knowledge stuff is safe and preserved and all of that.
Yeah.
Then we can start thinking about working government and all of that.
Yeah. So this is where
Make sure the
Sheldon
infrastructure's there first.
exactly. So this is where Sheldon and now allows Leonard to go and see his room. However, first of all, he's shown the bathroom,
Yep.
and he says to Leonard, "Are you fairly when do you are you
No, he
fairly
says, "Are
regular?"
you fairly regular?" And he's
Uh,
like, "I guess so." And he's like, "Oh,
yeah.
well,
Well,
this isn't going to work. I don't rent to hippies if all you're
no.
going to
First
do."
of all, he says no. He says, I don't need you to guess. What time do you void your bowels?" And he goes, "When I need to." And he goes, "Well, no, this is not going to work. I don't rent to hippies." And he goes, morning, about 8." And then and Sheldon goes, "Well, I can't give you 8. I can give you 7:30."
He's
And
like,
he's like,
"Done."
"Done. Okay." And he goes, "Huzzah, you can now look at your room." And he goes to look at Sheldon's room. He goes, "Was this my room?" And he goes, "No, this is my room.
That's my room.
People
People don't go
don't
in
go to
there.
my room." And he goes, "So where?" And Leonard
Where
goes,
do
"So
you
where do you
sleep?
sleep?"
Which is actually pretty
It
funny.
is. And Leonard and Sheldon says, "I don't understand. What do you mean?" And he says, "Well, if people don't go into your room, you
Your
know,
people.
your people.
And
So
Sheldon just keeps looking at him like he's got three heads. So he's
yeah."
like, "You know what? Never mind. It was a joke." And
And he
he's
goes,
like,
"Do you do this often?"
"Well, sometimes." And he gives that little
That
face and
yeah,
then
that look
makes
at
a note.
And he goes,
Yeah.
"No, this is
Okay.
your room here."
Yeah. Now, this is my favorite moment
And I'm going to keep my mouth closed so you can deal with it.
of the episode because he opens the door and Leonard walks in and he sees bright red paint on the wall saying "Die Sheldon Die." And he's like, "Okay." And Sheldon looks at him and says, "You may want to repaint," and walks out.
That looks like blood, doesn't it?
Well, it's meant to,
Yeah, no, it's definitely meant
but
to look like
it's
blood,
red paint.
but that is,
Pardon me, because if you had that amount of blood on the wall, someone would be dead.
yeah. Now, as we know with this episode, and we haven't touched on it continuously because we're doing the episode, but after certain things, we go back to Penny and Leonard,
Yeah.
Leonard is
Well,
now
and
painting her toenails rather than her painting her own toenails.
yeah, and he's like, "That should have been another clue for me."
Yeah, but obviously it wasn't. But it's sort of like it switches backwards and forwards.
Yeah.
It's not regularly switching backwards and forwards
Yeah.
because there's more to do with the episode than going back to and Leonard and Penny talking.
Yeah.
But Leonard is actually talking about, and this is where we also, basically Penny wants to find out. I thought you said when you first got here the elevator was working. What happened? And he said, "Well, we'll get to that." And
Okay,
then we go,
and then he starts telling the story of
yeah.
Joyce Kim.
So then we go
Now, I
back to
would like
Joyce
to
Kim.
point out that Joyce Kim, the North Korean spy who had sex with Leonard,
Yeah.
and the original neighbor, Louise, the 200-pound transvestite with a skin condition, which it didn't look like
He
he
didn't look
had,
like he had a
yeah,
skin condition, no.
are seen. Even though the character of Joyce Kim is mentioned many times and Louise is not, she's only the only time we ever see her is in this episode.
Yeah. Now, when we see the Sheldon die and Leonard, they flash back to Penny and Leonard. Penny says, Leonard says, I don't know, Penny says, and that wasn't another clue. And he goes, well, after you pass the first three barriers, you really want to see it through
No, no, no,
because,
that's on about something else. As
oh,
soon as,
okay.
yeah.
Um, so the next scene we see is Leonard and Sheldon doing the roommate agreement.
Yep.
Now, obviously, we know that it heavily focuses to lean towards everything that Sheldon wants. The first thing they discuss is a TV show called Firefly.
Yeah,
I
Josh
never saw it.
Whedon's brilliant new series Firefly. And so Friday nights are
Firefly Night.
Firefly night, and he's like, we need to figure that now. Set that now, and he's like, well, it's going to be on for years. But the
Mm,
irony being, it was canceled after one season.
yeah.
And Sheldon actually had acknowledged this in the Large Hadron Collision episode, even though the show was followed up by the full-length movie Serenity. But yes, Firefly was canceled after one season. It's actually on one of the streamers. I forget which one. Both it and
Could be
Ser
Disney.
Serenity.
I got a feeling it's on Disney.
We don't need to promote them, honey.
I know, I'm just saying.
I know, I'm just saying, but we don't need to mention them by name because they're not paying us for advertising.
They need to.
Mm. As much as we watch it, yeah.
Yeah, they do need to promote us.
Or
That
at
and
least,
YouTube.
or at least give us a ad-free membership.
Uh-huh. Here's an
Um,
idea, YouTube and Disney. Give
mhm.
us an ad-free, thing, and we will promote the hell out of your channels.
And what you and stuff that we watch there.
Yeah,
Oh, damn it. Now, what was I talking about?
Firefly
Oh,
and Serenity.
yeah, all right. But yeah, so it's on my list to watch.
Yeah.
I might do that while I play with my new knitting machine.
Oh, okay. So I have to sneak in to watch my Masters of the Universe before you do
No, we'll
your
watch that too.
knitting machine. Um, so
Which, in all fairness, is on Prime.
yes, yes, it is. That's true. So while they're going through the roommate agreement, the second one is that the apartment has a flag. Now we all know what flag this is, but this is a golden lion on a sea of azure. And I love it how Leonard goes, we've got a flag. And Sheldon holds up the little flag and starts to wave it. And he says, wave it in good health, but never wave it upside down unless the apartment is in distress.
Okay, now and there is that one, I forget which episode it is, but there's a magnet of the flag on the
Yes,
fridge. Now, in this episode, it's big.
it is a large one.
It's
Yeah.
like a 4x6.
Yeah.
But in the other episode where everything's going to hell,
It's
Sheldon
just
turns the
reduced.
flag upside down, but it's only like a 3x2
Yeah.
magnet. Yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously in this episode we learned that Sheldon and Leonard's apartment has a flag.
Hmm.
It bears a logo identical to that of Lowenbrow beer.
Oh, okay.
The same or similar lion has been used on other flags, such as the coat of arms of Bulgaria,
Hmm.
the official flag of the city of Leeuwarden in the Netherlands between 1750 and 1947. And apologies that I probably butchered that pronunciation.
I'm
The
sure that'll be fine.
commune of damn it, I can't talk today. Savagnier in the canton of Neuchâtel in Switzerland. Again, apologies. It is almost identical to I didn't realize this. It's almost identical to the flag of the capital Lviv in Ukraine.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Hmm.
Interesting.
I still think somebody is very interested in beer, and that's why they actually do that.
Yeah, they probably got it off of the Lowenbrow idea.
Yeah.
Either that or he was late to work and he was in charge of creating the flag and he forgot.
Uh-huh.
And they're like, where is it? And he's like, there you
There you go.
go.
It's on a sea of azure and it's a golden lion. There we go.
Yep.
The third one that they actually are discussing is that in the event that one of them invents time travel, they need to return to this moment in time within the next 5 seconds.
Yep.
Now, Leonard signs it, and then they look directly towards the front door, and then they start looking around the apartment to find out if one of them has arrived yet.
And I think Sheldon's line is one of the best of the show.
Yep.
Oh, well, that was disappointing. Now, okay, this moment when they're signing the roommate agreement about time travel,
Yep.
this actually, okay, this I thought this was fun. This could be a reference to Stephen Hawking, who once threw a party without invitations to see if a time traveler arrived. I don't know if they
Okay.
actually did or not, but I thought it was fun.
So Stephen Hawking had a party without invitations.
Yep. To see if a time traveler arrived, because if they were a time traveler, they would have known about the party.
Right.
Yeah.
Intellectual people are way, yeah, I don't understand them. This is why I'm not intellectual to anybody. Um, okay. It's strange. So this is where, we switch back to Leonard and Penny, and they're still talking, and Penny still wants to know what happened to the elevator. And he's like, we're getting close. We have to go back to the apartment.
Yeah,
So
so he tells her the story. So this is where we learn about
Joyce Kim.
Joyce Kim.
Yeah. Now, Leonard has painted his room, looks really nice. He's got some nice pictures on the wall, and he is getting Bao Chikawawa with Joyce Kim,
Yep.
very passionately kissing her. Now, Sheldon knocks on the door. And this is where Leonard says to Joyce Kim,
Whispers to Joyce Kim.
whispers, shh, he'll go away. And then he knocks again, and he says, no, no, shh, don't say anything. He'll go away in a moment. And this is where Sheldon basically
And
knocks
Sheldon's like, I'll keep doing this all day.
yeah. And this is where Leonard says, what do you want? And Sheldon comes in, and Leonard says, I didn't say.
We also hear the three knock
Yeah.
thing, and he's like, what do you want?
Now, Joyce Kim is in bra and underwear, and this is where Sheldon walks in, and Leonard says, "I didn't say for you to come in." He goes, "Well, that's what I wanted.
You asked what I wanted, and I wanted
to come in." And apparently, Sheldon is giving Leonard notice about, per the roommate agreement, that he has to give Sheldon 12 hours notice
if
when he's going to have
a woman over.
Yeah. And he says, Leonard says to Sheldon, I didn't even know her 12 hours ago.
And that's when Joyce Kim is like, forget it, I'm out of here. She picks up her clothes and leaves. And she's walking past Sheldon. Sheldon's like, 12 hours.
I know. Yeah. Now, obviously, there are scenarios with regards to, Joyce Kim, but
so then it pops back to Leonard and Penny, and because she's been saying, I have no sympathy for you. You chose this.
Yes.
And then he tells her that Joyce Kim story, and he's like, have a little sympathy for me now? And she's like,
a little bit. And he said, and also for the fact that, another scenario is coming up. We're gonna get to that. So
but he's like, yeah, I never could quite understand why she was interested in me, but I was working for the government, working on this new rocket fuel.
Yeah.
And now
and Penny's like, so?
Right.
And we find out that
Joyce Kim ended up being a
North Korean
spy. So he talks about, okay, so during the scenes when Leonard spends his first days in the new shared apartment, in the back, a whiteboard among other math, you can see B stuff and C stuff.
Yeah.
This may be a reference in the case of C stuff to the propellant used by the Germans in their first jet reactors deployed in the front in their last stages of World War II over the skies of Europe. The fuel was very dangerous and prone to accidents. Among the main fighters to use it was the Me-163 Comet. However, Leonard is an experimental physicist.
Yes.
Developing a rocket fuel would not be within his field of expertise and would most likely be done by chemical engineers.
Thank you. I was sort of trying to understand that myself.
Yeah.
because when Sheldon first meets Leonard and he's sitting there and he says, "Oh, so you're a physicist?" And he goes, "Yes, experimental." And Sheldon gives him that
The
l-
little
the screwed
ew
up
face.
face. So, but I thought that, yeah, I thought somebody with a lot more knowledge with regards to jet propulsion and stuff like that would be working on jet fuel or rocket fuel. I don't know why
Well,
Leonard would
okay.
be.
They're thinking, well, you have to do experiments to create the fuel, so an experimental physicist, but it would be more a chemical physicist for something like
Yeah,
that.
that
Yeah,
I was always perplexed about.
yeah,
So the next scene we see is Sheldon comes home from work and we see Raj and Howard, who apparently work at the university too, and they're playing a video game and they're actually sitting on something.
yes.
They are sitting on a sofa.
Well, it's like Sheldon comes in, he's like, "What are you sitting on?" And Howard's like, "Well, I don't know about these guys, but my tushy."
I'm sitting on my tushy.
And Raj is like, "Tushy is buttocks," and he's like, "Yeah," and he's like,
That's
"Hilarious."
hilarious. Um, And this is where even and then Leonard actually says that there was some neighbors that were moving, and that he got it for $100. That's a
That's a
very good
seriously good
deal.
deal for a leather couch
A
like
leather
that.
couch, yeah,
It's still very good condition.
exactly. Now even Sheldon comes out and says, because when Leonard introduces Raj and Howard, Sheldon says, "Well, I'll deal with you two later." And he
Yeah,
says to Leonard, "What is wrong with the chairs that with
we
what we've
had.
got?" And he said, "Well, they're lawn chairs, and there was nowhere for our
There's no
guests to
place for
sit."
company. And Sheldon's like, "Well, didn't you think that might have been intentional?"
Was in design that I didn't want.
Yeah.
And he says, well, and apparently this is another breach.
Yeah, I love it because he's like, "You should have notified me by email." And he's like, "I
I
did."
did.
And so Sheldon goes through his BlackBerry. He's like, "Oh, darn it, hoisted by my own spam
Spam
filter
filter. And I love it how Leonard goes, I'm in your spam filter. And he says, yes, when you sent me a picture of a cat
with
playing a piano.
the subject that this is funny."
This is funny. Yeah, I put in you into my spam folder.
Yeah.
Um, so this is where we start to see Sheldon trying to find his spot on the couch.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. The couch enters Sheldon Leonard's apartment. It's a small three-seater, but later somehow becomes a four-seater. Still three cushions, but the cushions are much wider, able to comfortably sit four people. Uh-huh.
Okay.
And during the flashback, when Leonard, okay, the very beginning of the episode, when Leonard
Hmm.
first enters and he tells him to sit, and he's like, "No, you need to sit in the other chair. This one's mine."
Yeah.
Sheldon details the reasons why it's the ideal spot.
Yeah.
Location in the room, nothing about the actual chair.
Yeah.
However, when they switch it out for the couch, Sheldon goes through the process, and I pointed this out to you.
You did, yeah.
Sheldon goes through the process of finding a new spot, even though his traditional location at the end of the couch is exactly in the same position, the same spot where the chair was,
In
enjoying
Eternal
the same
Dibs.
benefits. And I actually said to you, that should have been the first place he tried.
Exactly. What we first see is Sheldon sitting in the center between Howard, which is sitting in traditionally Sheldon's spot,
Yep.
and Raj. Now, Sheldon actually remarks to Raj that you're going to be very upset that you bought an iPod when Microsoft brings out their version of it. And you said that was like was a Zune or something?
Zune, yeah. So, okay, so yeah, Sheldon's wrong when he comments that Raj wasted his money on the iPod, given that Microsoft would soon make a rival device. The
Yeah.
Zune, as it was called, was released in 2006, but discontinued 5 years later due to disappointing sales that were way behind the iPod.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
never had an iPod, but I do remember seeing them.
I did
Um,
have one. Now, I before we move on, I got just a couple more things to point out here.
yeah,
Okay, first of all, in the flashback scenes, Howard is wearing an Alienware emblem as a pendant.
I
In
didn't notice that.
all other episodes of the show, Howard's wearing it in the form of a pin.
Yes, yeah, on his dicky.
Now, I thought it was interesting that most of the characters dress as though they were in the 80s during the flashback scenes, even though they take
Hmm.
place in 2003.
Yeah, why is Raj dressed like friggin'
Sonny
Miami
Crockett.
Vice?
Well, in the flashback scenes, Howard's hair is curly and Raj's hair is straight and styled like Sonny Crockett from Miami Vice.
Yeah,
In the episode, much later in the series, spoiler alert, the confidence erosion, Raj's hair has a natural curl to it when he tells Penny and Leonard he went back to the planetarium and got the job. He tells them he stopped straightening his hair, which ironically he said that he started doing because Howard did it,
Howard did it.
but Howard's hair was curly.
Yeah, thank you. I was going to
So
say that to you
because Penny sarcastically asked if he was making his hair look like that on
on
purpose.
purpose.
And Raj said Howard was his first friend and the coolest person he knew, so he straightened his hair to look like his.
But as you said in
But
this
in this
episode,
episode,
Howard's
was
hair is
curly.
curly as anything.
Yeah,
It's on the same curl level as friggin' Leonard's right now.
yeah, nearly, yeah.
So I don't know why, if he really thought that, unless at some stage, Howard decided to make his hair straight for some reason. But yeah,
Yeah, I think curling his hair for this episode was a wrong choice.
definitely.
That the wardrobe kind of forgot that he was that part of it.
Yeah. So we see that Sheldon actually says,
And he had one of the little
yeah,
soul
yeah,
patches.
soul patches,
I'm sorry.
which is
and
ridiculous.
apologies to anybody who has one in the listening fam. I hate them. I think they look stupid.
Mm.
I'm sorry.
So we see that Sheldon, who's sitting in the center between Howard and Raj, says to Raj, "No, move. I don't want to sit here." So we get
Because making my neck hurt.
He's turning too much. So
I know
he
that
sits.
feeling.
So he sits on the edge he sits on where Raj is, and that doesn't work either because there's a draft. So
Yep.
he says to Howard, "Switch with me," and he goes, "What?" So I get the draft, and he goes, "You're protected by your skivvy."
Your
Turtleneck. That's
turtleneck.
turtleneck. And he Howard gets up and goes, "Fine." He
And
says,
it's a
and
dickie.
it's a dickie. So Sheldon sits there, and this is where we start to see that Sheldon is starting to get a little bit more comfortable.
And he's like,
And
but this still isn't right.
yeah,
Oh,
that's right. There's too many people.
people here.
And Leonard goes, "We can fix that. Let's go." And Howard says, "Well, why don't you come over to my house?" So he's like, "Okay." So they all get up, and Howard and Leonard, Sheldon gets up and says, "Oh, just a moment. I've got to get my sweater."
And they're like, why? You're not coming.
Yeah, and even Raj says, he says, "Well,
And
why not?" And Raj
he's-
goes, "You're the person we're trying to get away from." And he's
Oh,
like, "Oh, then I won't need my jacket then."
Yep.
So they all leave, and this is where Sheldon sits
oh,
in his spot.
and by the way, the phrase is, I am the person, what was it?
From
From whom you were trying to get away.
get away. That's right.
And they all just shake their heads and leave.
And they leave. And then, of course, this is where Sheldon sits in his spot and he goes, "Oh, yeah, this will definitely be my spot." Then it switches back to where Penny and Leonard are in her apartment. And she goes, "Hang on a minute. You left the apartment. You know he didn't. You don't know whether he said that." And he says, "Really? Do you think he didn't say that?" So then this is where she's like, "Well,
I want to know
what
about
happened?"
the elevator.
And he goes,
like,
"Look,
we're getting there.
really,
We're getting there.
yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there." So the next thing we see is now we're over at we're over at Howard's house. And
Howard, are you having a
play
date?
date? And he's like, "I don't have play dates. I have colleagues. Do their parents know they're here?" And he goes, "Well, maybe if you yell loud enough, they'll hear you." And he slams the door. And I love it how Leonard goes, "That your dad?" And he says, "If she grows any more hair on her face, she will be."
And then she's like, Howard, do you know where the Oreos are that I left on the counter?
And we see that Raj has
And he's
eaten
standing in
half.
back of Howard.
Yep, he's eaten half of one. He's got another one. So he has to cram it all into his mouth to make sure that no one can see that he took it.
So he looks like a chipmunk.
Yeah, I love it how Howard says you can take your bath without your Oreos. Which I understand. If you're in the bath relaxing, Howard has been in the bath with
a snack is nice.
Yeah, he's been in the bath with champagne or wine or whatever it is. So, why not have Oreos while you're having a bath? It's relaxing. So, not that I've ever done it, but I'm sure it is good.
Now, I'd like to point out that we all know the lightsabers above Howard's bed.
That I've seen way too much.
We shall not speak of this.
Or a black light in that room.
Okay, in this episode, if you pay close attention, the lightsabers are blue.
Mm-hmm.
In every other episode of the series, they're green.
Oh, yeah, they are, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
That's right. He presses the button. They both
Yep.
illuminate
Yep.
green.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, okay. One thing I actually did forget to say is that when Howard and Raj were in the apartment, they were going to watch Babylon 5. And
Yes.
apparently um, Sheldon doesn't like it, but
No.
Howard, Raj, and Leonard do. But apparently
Well,
Howard
that's the
and
thing is they're
Raj
like, okay,
don't
let's
get
watch
a
Babylon 5. And
yeah,
Sheldon's like,
but
well,
we don't
no, of
watch that
course
here.
not. We don't watch that here. And he's like, why not? He's like, because nobody likes it. And he's like, I like it. And then the other two chime in and say, I
Yeah.
like it. And
And this is where Leonard goes,
Leonard's
well, it's
like,
three
well,
against one.
guess what? He's like, no, they don't live here. They don't get a vote. It's one against one. And per the roommate agreement, any ties are settled by me.
Yeah. Which basically means that
And I
regardless,
disagreed with that. And he's like, yep. And
I vetoed it.
I vetoed it. And
And he goes, well,
since I break all ties,
it's not going to happen anyway.
yeah,
So you've got no chance.
yeah.
So while we are in Howard's bedroom, Leonard discovers that he's designed a rocket. And he says, wow, is that a stage two rocket? He goes, oh, it's three actually. And he says, wow, could that break the sound barrier? And he said, well, yeah, in theory it could if it had the proper fuel. And he goes, oh, this might be your lucky day. So this
I've
is where
been
we go
working
back.
on a fuel.
Yeah, so this is where we go back to Leonard and Penny's like, when are we going to get to the
Elevator.
elevator?
He's like,
And
we're
we're
close.
we're
We're
close,
really
we're really
close.
close. And now we're back in the apartment, and we're seeing that Leonard is in there, and he's showing how he's mixing some rocket fuel into a metal canister.
It's like
How?
it's like one of those milk cans
Yeah, it's like a milk jug. Yeah,
That Harry Houdini used to escape from. It's that big.
yeah, yeah. So, however, Sheldon comes in. Now, this is where we've seen that Leonard has poured the mixture into the cylinder, the metal
Hmm.
cylinder. And Sheldon comes in and says, oh,
You've done
it's
it
not going to
wrong.
work.
Yeah.
And look at how Leonard goes, well, no, this is applied physics. And,
You're theoretical physics, but
yeah, I
this
know
is
what I'm
applied
doing.
physics. I'm an experimental physicist.
I know what
And
I'm doing
Sheldon's like looking at his notes and he's like, this is for a
for a
full size jet. And he's like,
rocket.
no,
Yeah,
I adjusted it. And he's like, not
not
correctly.
correctly.
You don't know see your mistake, do you? And he's like, and that's when he starts like, you're
Yeah,
theoretical, I'm applied, I know what I'm doing. And he had put the lid on it and then
yeah.
suddenly smoke starts to come out of it. And he's like, oh.
Yeah, and
And
he's like, and because like, and look at how it goes. Is that bad? And he goes, it's very bad. It is very, very
very,
bad.
very bad.
And he goes, he picks it up and he goes, get the door, get the door, get the door, get the door. And I love it how Sheldon goes over to the refrigerator
And turns the flag upside
upside
down.
down.
Okay, so out in the hallway, they're like, you're waiting for the
Yeah,
elevator.
because
He's like,
he
oh,
presses the
right.
elevator button to wait for the elevator.
And then he starts to go down the stairs. Then it
Ding.
opens, and Roger's like, quick, come here, it's here.
Yeah,
So Leonard gets in it with the container, and,
yeah,
and Sheldon runs out, holds the door open, goes in, takes the container,
yep.
says, give that to me, puts it down, grabs Leonard, throws him out of the elevator, and
Press the
steps
button.
out, or he pushes the button for the basement, steps out, and Leonard's like, I had time.
I
And
had plenty of
boom.
time, and then whammo, it
Oh,
explodes.
and Sheldon looks at him and says, "You're welcome," and walks back into the apartment.
And I love it how then Penny goes, so you're the reason that I have to walk up 4 flights of stairs every day. And he goes, yeah, well, Sheldon did save my life, and he also didn't rat me out to
Rat
the
me out
landlord, to the
to the
landlord,
landlord, the
the
university,
police,
Homeland Security.
security.
But now, I find that fascinating because we all know that Sheldon can't keep a secret.
Well, yeah,
But I
okay.
think it also shows that he's starting to really like Leonard and having him there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So we're getting towards the end of the episode. So the next scene, or what Leonard says, well, um, when Penny says, so you're the reason that I have to walk up 4 flights of stairs. And Leonard asks her, well, so what were you doing 7 years ago? And she goes, well, I was studying hard, keeping my nose clean, doing community service until it's revealed that she was sitting on the edge of her bed with a pregnancy test going, with her boyfriend going, not
Not
pregnant.
pregnant.
Oh, right.
Yes.
Gives the guy a high five. So this is where we see that Leonard goes back into the apartment. And he goes in, and Sheldon is sitting on at his spot on his computer, and he walks in, and this is where Sheldon goes, why do I smell methylcrylate? And he goes, oh, I was in Penny's apartment. She gave me a mani-pedi.
Yeah.
And Leonard, Sheldon
Men
gives him
can
that
get
look, and he's like,
those.
men can get those. And he goes, oh, and he goes, do you mind if I watch some TV? And he goes, yeah, be my guest. And he sits down, and you hear, on next Babylon 5, and a whole new fight starts immediately.
Yep.
And I like it how Penny is in the apartment, and you hear, you know, we don't watch that. Well, you're not even watching it. I can hear it. Don't make me turn that flag upside down because I'll do it.
You know I'll do it.
The episode,
Yeah.
and you can see that this is amusing Penny to no end. The episode then goes black, and that is the end of the episode. It is really a fun episode. This is
Yeah.
definitely in my top five. I would
Yeah.
say this is a top five thing.
Definitely
I
in the
do love
top
them.
5 with the possibility of top 1.
Yeah, for you, definitely a top one. Me,
Yeah.
definitely top five. I love this episode. This is
Yeah.
one that you could watch over and over again,
Hmm.
never get sick of it
Exactly.
because it is a fun way to actually see how these two met.
Yeah.
And
I
just
I
all
always love backstory stuff.
yeah,
Um
but just
origin
the way that,
stories.
the way that they met and all the red flags that were thrown up to Leonard. But as he does say, once you get past all the barriers,
The first 3 you kind of want to see it through.
you want to see it, you want to see it through. You want to get all the way. But
Yep.
with everything that he has gone through and everything that he was going to go through, he could have saved himself a whole lot of drama by not
Well, if he had just listened to the
the young
ex-roommate,
guy.
run fast, run far.
Uh-huh. I
Yep.
think the biggest one would have been the die Sheldon die, but
Yeah.
that's just me.
That
Um,
should have been a big clue.
that should have been a very big clue as to not be in that
You know,
house, in
but
that
but
apartment.
there's people who fit everybody.
Yeah. Well,
You know,
and
and
as you
and
did
and
say, those two fit together.
yeah, and you look at how far Sheldon has come because of
Mm.
his relationship with Leonard.
Yeah. Yeah. And as we all know, um, the added little twist in young Sheldon, where we find out, the name of Sheldon's child. That is a
Mhm.
really big thing.
Yeah.
Um, there were a lot of conspiracy theories around that, but we'll get to that when and if we do young Sheldon. So,
What do you mean if?
well, we might get to the end of Big Bang and decide not to do young Sheldon.
Yeah, right.
It may happen. The
Hey, we've
family might
already promised the fam.
get sick to death of listening to us and going,
Not possible.
well, you never know. You don't know
Not
that.
possible.
All right, well,
They love
we'll go
us.
with it.
They love us.
So now, what was our food
And we
count?
love them.
We do. What was our food count this week?
Big old goose egg.
0,
Yep,
none.
nada.
Okay.
I was
Um,
surprised that Penny and Leonard didn't have snacks,
yeah,
but
I
they
was actually.
didn't.
Oh no. You
What?
can't count the Oreos, can you?
Uh-uh.
No.
Because the boys didn't spend money on it.
Yeah. Okay. What is our question of the week?
We all have that one person in our lives who was a lot to take at first, but turned out to be absolutely worth it. Tell us about yours.
Don't have one.
Not even me?
No,
I'm not a lot to take?
you're worth it, but you're not hard to take. God.
And then there was the day Paul tried to break up with me, and I
Well,
wouldn't let him.
no, I wasn't allowed to. I'm giving signals. I'm being trapped. I love it how you just got it. Everybody that's watching YouTube sees that across the screen. No. Don't make it even worse. No. No. It was my flight or flight scenario because I'd
Flight or
been
flight.
yeah, flight or flight because I'd been through a horrible, horrible,
Yeah.
disastrous, terrible breakup with my ex-wife, and I just
Yeah.
decided that nope, not going to be in another relationship, and I was absolutely terrified. So
Yeah.
Kat basically looked at me and said,
No,
no. And I'm like,
you're not going
yes.
anywhere.
And she's like,
No.
no. So that was all there was.
I can't believe I did that. I do not know what possessed me to do that.
No, you
And
you had that. I've had enough. You are not going anywhere.
I don't know what possessed me to do it, but I'm really grateful that I did.
Yes.
Okay, Chuck Lorre Productions number 287. Censored. Apparently, it's okay to show brutal violence and graphic vomit your Jenny Craig dinner up into your mouth detail on a forensic cop show, but but it's
Okay.
unacceptable to write about it with a little whimsy. As always, you can read the offending material on my website, chucklorre.com. Frankly, I think you'll be disappointed.
Okay. Short, sharp, and shiny?
All right. Now, if I am remembering correctly, pardon me, the next episode, we get to meet Zach.
Yes, we do.
And I love Zach.
Now, just so
I
you
could never
know,
date Zach.
no. So just so you know, in our listener percentage, oh, yes, that's right.
What?
Yes, that is right. Texas is number one.
Uh-huh. Texas.
New Jersey is number two.
No.
Ohio is number three.
Really?
Yep. Massachusetts is number four.
Okay.
And New York is number five.
What's our top country?
Let's see, the top country, I believe, is the United States. Let me have a look. Let's go up here. Yes, United States, United Kingdom, Germany, Japan, and Indonesia.
Oh, Australia dropped off.
Australia is one, two, three, four, number seven. And in Australia, Victoria is the number one, and South Australia is number two.
Woo!
Yeah, so Australia is clawing its way back slowly, but it will not overtake the United States. And obviously, as we know, Texas
Well, it might
being
someday.
Texas being number one, and Texas has blown Plano out of the water. 62.3% of Dallas listens to us, and 19.5% of Plano listens to us.
Okay.
So
Well,
yes,
Dallas is bigger. Pardon me.
Dallas is everything's bigger in Texas, as they say.
You know, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we want to thank everybody for joining us and sticking around with us today.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, I love this episode.
Yes, it is a good episode.
Yeah, it really is. Next week we're doing season 3, episode 22, The Lunar Excitation.
Is it 23?
Oh, sorry. Yep, 23.
Number 23.
Sorry, I forgot to change that
Yeah.
part when I changed the name.
Episode number 23, the
23,
lunar.
The Lunar Excitation. So very excited about that.
Yeah.
And as always,
to meet the man, Bo.
I love Zach.
Yeah.
Literally a million times.
Mm-hmm.
Really. So anyway, we want to thank you for joining us. If you haven't done already, please like and subscribe, and maybe even leave a review wherever you listen to or watch this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And because that does help other people find us. And if you know anybody who would enjoy The Big Bang Theory, please invite them to come and join us.
Yep.
And if you like what we're doing here and want to show us a little love and appreciation, because we'll never put advertising on our podcast, you can shout us a coffee.
Mm-hmm.
And the link for that is in the show notes, is on a link pinned post on both the Facebook group and the Facebook page, or you can email us at
perpetualmotionsquad00@gmail.com.
Yep, perfect.
I just remembered before we go, I think we've actually had a new listener, new subscriber on PMS.
On which format?
This is on the page.
Oh, okay, on the Facebook page. A new follower. Okay, cool.
We had a new follower. I think his name is.
Yeah, I saw that the other day that I said hi.
Yeah, I think it was Chad.
Okay, cool.
I think Chad's our new listener.
So if you haven't followed the Facebook page.
Yes, it is. Chad.
If you haven't followed the Facebook page or joined the group, we would love to have you. We post all kinds of fun Nerdverse stuff in the group, and the official questions where you can answer them are on the page.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
So with that said, thanks so much, gang. We will see you next time. And in the meantime, we will catch up with the Cheesecake Factory.
Bye, everyone.